Welcome back, and with me is Leonard Smirgy. We're here at the Buckeye Farm Antiques annual show. And, Leonard, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the history on well, you have a whole lot of a collection here, but in particular about this particular item.
Well, thanks for having us. And, we have probably about 15 tractors here, and we've been collecting them for probably 30, 40 years now. My dad started it, and we just got into collecting, and we still do it and buy them and then just fix them up and then take them to the shows to display.
Well, not only do you fix these up, but some of these I think you actually use in your farm, right?
We have a few of them that we still use on the farm, but most after we restore them and fix them, most of them just go into a collection and not get used again. We put a lot of time into them, and so they just kind of come out of the use of working. So they just go into a collection and they stay there and just for the shows. So.
Well, talking about shows and collection, we're looking here at a very, I would say, a unique piece of equipment here. This is a John Deere 40, and you see these as tractors, but, as a crawler?
Yes. This one here is kind of unique. It had a blade on it when we got it. Very, very few of them probably. Most of them had blades and used for pushing dirt and stuff like that. But most of them had wide front ends and the rear narrow fronts. But this one here is very unique, and it took us a long time to get this one done. We took about 10 years from start to finish to get this tractor done. We restored the engine, rebuilt the engine, everything's new on it, repinned the track, and just a lot of time on doing this one. It was pretty rough when we got it, and to get it in this shape, it took a long time to get it done.
Well, you were sharing with me, the time frame. You could have had a child born and put him through college.
Yeah, we did. We got tired of working on it, and it got set back in the barn, and it went back and forth of getting it done and not getting it done, and finally we said that we're going to get it done. And here, it took us a long time, but it turned out nice, and with all the help of my brothers and sons, and it was a family tradition and it took a lot of people to do what we did, and all the family. I have like 6 brothers that did it, and a lot of nephews that helped, and it's a family thing that we do. So it takes a lot of time to get them done like this, and so we're appreciative of all the family that stays together, and we do work on them quite a bit. But yeah, it's nice to get it done and have it done. So.
Yeah, a lot of times, you see these pieces of equipment, and they can be fairly common, like a John Deere B or a John Deere A, or even the the H or the M's. But this is a really, really unique piece.
Yes, it is. Like I said, this is probably our rarest one that we have, the most unique one we have. So it stays in the shed all the time, and doesn't come out much. But to the shows, it's a nice piece for the show.
You did make a comment about, of course it looks nice now, but I heard that you really, originally when you brought it home, caught a lot of grief for that.
Yeah, my dad, he let us have it when we brought it home. It was a basket case, and it was really, really rough. I mean, the tracks were falling off of it, and it was running on one cylinder. It's only a 2-cylinder tractor, and it was just a basket case of parts and everything. And after he got done and everything, he was really proud of it, but it was not a pretty sight when we got it.
Well, Leonard, it's been a pleasure talking with us today, so thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks.
We'll be back with more right after this. Joining us now is Ray Smirgy, and Ray's with Smirgy & Sons, and he's just going to talk a little bit about how their whole family gets involved. And I heard you say something about wrenches.
Yeah, I collect John Deere wrenches mainly, and there's something like 600 John Deere wrenches, one for every piece of equipment, especially wrenches, and I got about 400 some right now hanging on the wall, so I'm still looking for wrenches. But it's a family affair. We got 6 brothers in it, and grandsons and nephews, and we all collect a little bit of John Deere.
Well, if once you kind of get it in your blood, it's kind of like farming too. Once you get it in your blood, you can't hardly get it out.
That's right. We started with John Deere equipment and still farming with John Deere's.
Well, Ray, we kind of talked about what you collect, and so what's your background? And I mean, obviously somebody had to get the bug and get started somewhere.
Well, we started in farming, and we liked the old 2-cylinder to farm with, and then went up to the 4-cylinders and 6-cylinders. But we got our dad's original 50 John Deere he bought new, and we kind of keep that in the shed. We still play with that a little bit, but we're all shade tree mechanics, and we try to keep them going, and it's a chore to keep everything up. Batteries and gas goes bad pretty fast, and rubber, just a lot of upkeep on them. So that's where we're at now.
Yeah, just much like the theme of the Buckeye Farm Antiques show, yours is a family affair.
That's right. We try to keep it that way. Makes peace in the family.
Well, you can't help but notice, you have it on the front and the back of your shirts.
That's right. We are pretty proud of that.
Well, Ray, thanks for being with us today.
Okay, thank you much. Thanks for having us.
Welcome back. We're here at the annual Buckeye Farm Antiques Tractor Show, and with me is Doug Smergy. And Doug's standing here with a tractor that's pretty near and dear to his heart. Some tractors have a connection, some don't. This one does have a lot of connection for you. But you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Doug, and then we can kind of talk a little bit about your connection with the tractor.
Hi, my name's Doug Smergy. Here with Smergy and Sons. We bring all the tractors here. I'm one of the grandsons of all the brothers of the owners of all these. I'm with all the brothers of the tractors.
Well, like I said, some tractors have connections and some don't, but this one has a special connection to you, and I'd like you to just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, this tractor came from my grandpa, Dan Schaub. We farmed on it, baled. I was behind the baler with it, many acres, baled a bunch of acres of straw with it, and while he drove, and even before I was there, they drove it, and he stacked behind it. One day we got a bigger baler, and this quite couldn't handle it, so it kind of got retired back to the shed. We ran the auger with it and stuff like that. Come to a time while the head gasket went out in it, so it kind of got put on the back burner, really didn't get used. I wanted to use it, and Grandpa said, well, I'll give it to you. Said, take it on your project yourself, redo it, get it running again, and he said, you can have it. I was flying on cloud 9 at the time. I was 12 years old, and I had a tractor, and I wanted to do something with it. So we got a new, we redid the motor, got a new head, got it running. I redid a lot of gaskets in it. So I wanted to use it. I cultivated probably 50 acres of corn with it. I wanted to work all the tweaks out before I got it all repainted because I didn't want to leak or anything like that. So after about 3 years of using it, getting all the tweaks worked out of it, got it running good, and me and my dad decided we're going to restore it. It took a little over a year to get it all sanded down, power wash, all the stuff, the hard labor that goes into it, the amount of labor hours that you have and stuff like this. My dad paints all of our tractors. He does a wonderful job, and it was a kind of a family thing again. With my dad's a painter, other uncles, they work on the motors. I mean, each brother has their own specialty in our family. So I mean, it's nice that all of us are together and one can come over and help us figure out the whole situation. So yeah, I'm real grateful for my grandpa giving this to me. We took a picture of it before we restored it, got that, and we took a picture after, and he passed away this last February, and I put him back on the seat to drive it home one day. His eyes lit up, and he was so proud, not of just me, but just to seeing what it could be. So yeah, that made me feel good too. So yeah, that's a little bit of story behind this one. It's pretty close to the heart, and it will never leave.
Well, Doug, that's always something. As I said, with a lot of these pieces of equipment, either you, like me, you drove them when you were a kid, or you have some connection. And my grandfather owned this piece of equipment or owned that piece of equipment. So it was nice visiting with you. Thanks for being with us today.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it for being here.